All right, guys, section 3.2 is function notation. So how we read these? When you see this f and then parentheses, we call that f of x. So we have f of x, g of x, and h of x are other ways to write functions and relationships between numbers. So up to this point, we know y equals 2x minus 3. We've seen y equals 1/2 x plus 1. We've seen y equals negative 3x. These are all functions, okay? So instead, sometimes we're going to start seeing things like f of x. F of x equals 2x minus 3 is the same as saying y equals 2x minus 3. F of x equals 1/2 x plus 1 is the same as saying y equals 1/2 x plus 1. Okay, same idea down here. Y equals negative 3x is the same as saying g of x is equal to negative 3x. We can sometimes say y is a function of x or f is a function of x. Okay, so just interchanging these functions and these variables help us out a ton in this chapter. So utilizing function notation is another way to say substitute in for a value of an expression, okay? So when I'm looking at this down here, you're going to see examples like this. It says determine the value of f of 2 for each function. Essentially what they're asking me to do, like they say up here, is substitute the 2 in. So when I do that, I'm going to say, okay, well, f of 2 is equal to negative 9 times 2 minus 1. I know negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 minus 1 is negative 19. All right, this next one, f of x, well, if I do f of 2, I'm going to substitute 2 in, so I get 2 times 2 plus 29. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 29 is 33. Okay. This next one, they want to know f of x is equal to 1/2 x minus 3. Well, I know if I plug in 2, f of 2 is 1/2 times 2 minus 3. So f of 2 would have to equal 1 minus 3. So I get negative 2 is my answer for that one. So really what I'm doing is I'm just taking this value in parentheses and plugging it into the equation to figure out more information about the function. For this next problem, it says determine the values for each using the function. So they gave us g of x equals negative 4x minus 1. So what they want me to do is plug this value in wherever I see an x. So that means g of 3, if I were to plug 3 into this function, I would get negative 4 times 3 minus 1. So g of 3 would have to equal negative 13. Because negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. All right. This next one, they want me to plug in negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 4 minus 1, I get 16 minus 1, I get 15. G of 0, when I plug that in, I'm going to get negative 4 times 0 minus 1, so I get negative 1. This next one, for number 4 and number 5, takes a little bit more work to do this one. So if you take a look at this, in parentheses, it says g of negative 1. So what we're going to do is plug negative 1 in for x first. So negative 4 times negative 1 minus 1. Well, negative 4 times negative 1 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. But what they want me to do now is take that answer, 3, and multiply it by 5. Well, I know 3 times 5 is 15. And I know they want me to multiply it because it's outside of the parentheses or in brackets outside the parentheses, right? So they want me to multiply. For this next one, they want me to do two things. They want me to find g of 3 and then find g of negative 10 and add those numbers together. So let's find g of 3. Well, g of 3 is going to be negative 4 times 3 minus 1. So negative 4 times 3 is 12, negative 12. Negative 12 minus 1, negative 13. Now, what about g of negative 10? Well, they want me to add that sum of negative 13 to what's over here. Negative 4 times negative 10 minus 1. I'm going to get negative 4 times negative 10, which is positive 40. Minus 1 is 39. So I should get negative 13 plus 39, 26 is my answer. And down below it says graphing from function notation examples. Same thing, guys, as slope-intercept form, point-slope form, the things that we learned this last chapter. So for this one, I know my y-intercept is at -1. I'm going to go down 4 to the right 1, down 4 to the right 1. And from my y-intercept, I can also go up 4 to the left 1. Here is my equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, this next one, I need to put it in slope-intercept form. So to do that, I can get 0.5 times 2x is going to give me 1x minus 2.5. So I get g of x equals 1x minus 2.5. So my y-intercept is -2.5. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, so on and so forth. And here is my line. Okay, this next one, they're going to try and trick you. What is my slope in this one? It's not 3. My slope for this one is -1. And my y-intercept for this one, it's actually going to be 3. I started that one for you guys. I'm going to have you guys finish the graph on number 3. And then we're going to scroll down below for some word problems. Maybe, if they're going to come up. Okay, so, sorry, I had to snip this in. So this word problem is a total flashback from chapter 2 with slope-intercept form, point slope form. So hear me out. It says Cassie runs a babysitting business. She charges a one-time insurance fee. So that's super important. I'm going to make this a picture so I can write on it. Okay, she charges a one-time insurance fee plus a cost per hour. So if I'm thinking slope-intercept form, I have y equals whatever her cost is per hour plus her additional fee. Okay, so it says below is a table of what she currently has earned. All right, well, remember, money is your y and x your hours. Time leads to money, right? Your independent and dependent variables. So they want to know what is her linear equation that can represent this data. Well, we need to find the slope. So how can I do that? Y sub 2 minus y sub 1. You guys have really worked hard on this. So 66 minus 46 will give me 20. 5 minus 3 will give me 2. So I have a slope of 10. Well, that's great, but now I need to find, that means she charges $10 an hour, right? $10 per hour. Now I need to find my y-intercept. Multiple ways I can do that. I'm going to plug in 5 and 66 into my slope-intercept form to solve for my variable. So I know 5 is my x, 66 is my y. So I'll get 66 as my y equals my slope of 10 times 5 plus b. So I get 66 equals 50 plus b. I'm going to subtract 50 on both sides to get b by itself, and I get 16 as b. So that means her one-time fee is $16. So what is her insurance fee? $16. How much would she make after 15 hours? Well, here's my equation. Y equals, where y is the total amount of money she makes, $10 per hour, plus she charges $16 on top of that, sorry. So if she works for 15 hours, 10 times 15 plus 16 will give you 150 plus 16. So she makes $166 in 15 hours. All right. So really just applying what we know about slope. You can use point slope. You can use slope-intercept form. All right. I could also do this. Y minus 66 for y1 equals my slope of 10 times x minus x1, which would be 5. And I could go in, right? I get 10x minus 50. I could add 66 to both sides. I get y equals 10x. See what I do wrong. $10 an hour. You still should get the 166. All right. Even when you go in and plug in those. All right, so I'm going to have you guys do number 2. It says Brett has decided to rent 4-wheelers each weekend. So fun. He has charged a rental charge plus a cost per mile below is the table of what he's paid the last 5 weekends. So they want you to solve the 4 problems down below using this information. All right, so go ahead and do this problem here, number 2. And up above this graph here, I wanted you to graph number 3. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.